How's it going, everybody? It's Frisby Moonsong here. Yow! And today what we are going to be doing is we actually have Sword Souls for you guys. Now, what I've noticed is this is obviously, people know that this is a really good deck, this current format. But a lot of what people are struggling with is how to play it. Now, I know a lot of the things have changed with Auroradon being banned and people not knowing what to put in. A lot of people are trying to play Dragite once again, but I've come up with the build that I think has done really well. It did win me states, so I'm quite happy with that. There's a couple of videos of my deck list where I talk a bit more in depth about the list and why I made the choices I did. But in this video specifically, I am going to be helping you guys with combos and situational events that really help you with learning how to play the deck, because I know a lot of people struggle with that. So it's going to be a nice thing to see. I remember I did a video like this a long time before the deck had changed. But now, obviously, a lot of things have changed. So we are going to be helping you guys with what to do in what situation. First of all, I'm going to show you a quick scope of the deck list so you guys can see what we will be using. So it's just a quick, I'm not going to explain anything. You guys can check out the other videos of my interviews for what decks, for what choices I made. But over here, this is just the quick deck list. We have 3 Ecclesia, because you gotta have consistency. 3 Moi, 3 Longyuan, and 2 Taya for the main Swordsoul engine. Then for the Tenyis, of course, we have 3 Ashuna, 3 Adara, 3 Vashuda, and 1 Shtana, trying to max out on Tenyis to keep consistency as strong as possible, because that is this deck's strength. For the hand traps, we played 3 Ash, 2 Vela, and 1 Ogre. Sorry, not 1 Ogre, sorry, 1 Ghost Bell, not Ogre, because obviously Ghost Bell is really strong, and I didn't want to play 3 Effect Vela, but yes, you'll see why in the other videos. For these spells, we played 3 Emergence and 1 Summit. Summit is really insane. You guys can hear why in the other videos. Then for the Tenyi support, we played 2 Vessel and we played 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle, which is really strong in this format as well. Then we played 2 Desires and 1 Caught by the Grave for the rest of the generic spells. Then for the traps, we played triple Impermanence and 1 Blackout for the obviously consistent traps, and Blackout is just really, really insane. Then for the extra deck, we played the 1 Baron, which is really strong. People know obviously Baron is a staple. We played the 1 Tenyi Berserker, which is also really, really good. You'll hear about it obviously in the other videos. For the Sword Souls, we played 2 Chishao, 1 Chengying, 1 Longyuan. Longyuan is just really, really insane. For the Yangzings, you play 1 Chaofeng, 2 Baxia, and 1 Yazi. Yazi is still really good. I know some people want to cut it, but I still believe it is strong to really play in this format. Then for the last synchro, we play 1 Formula Synchron because we're playing the Halq Fabrax, and that I will explain now in the combos as to why we are doing this. And for the last 3, we're playing 1 Shaman and 2 Monk. The third Monk doesn't always come up because either you are losing or overextending by that point. So now we're going into the side deck. For the side deck, we played 3 Lancia, we played 3 Gamma and a Driver, which is really insane. For the spells, we played 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, we played 3 Anti-Spell, 3 Evenly Matched, and 1 Red Reboot, just for a quick wrap-up of the deck list. So now let's go into a couple of combos, starting with, obviously, things people need to know about the deck is how to do the combo for getting Chaofeng, for being able to play around Nibiru. Now I know people weren't playing Nibiru, but people are going to start playing it again, so it's really good to check out and be aware of. So usually you need to start off with either an Ashuna and any other Tenyi, or you start off with any Tenyi plus a Vessel, which creates the combo. So let's just do it with an Ashuna. So you're going to special summon the Ashuna, then you're going to link Ashuna into a monk. Then after that, before you use Ashuna's effect, special summon the other Tenyi you have in your hand. Then you banish the Ashuna to special summon the opposite Tenyi of the one you currently have on the field. Then you are going to synchro summon your 2 Tenyis into a Baxia. and you are going to use Baxia's second effect, targeting the monk and targeting the Adara engrave, destroying it to special summon the Adara, and you're going to synchro summon your Adara and your Baxia into a Chaofeng, which is going to protect you from all your Nibiru's and Velas. It's a really good combo to bait out hand traps, and it does not take up a normal summon. If, however, you have opened an Adara plus a vessel, a really strong thing to do. Special summon the Adara, obviously, and then you link into your monk, and then activating the vessel, you send Ashuna, adding the Vishuddha, um, and then special summoning the Vishuddha after that. The reason why you go into this is because you banish the Ashuna to special summon the other Adara. The best idea is to try keep as many Adoras. You want to get your Ashunas out into the grave as quickly as possible, because later on your Ashunas do become bricks. Before you go into this combo, it is good if you have the Adara on the field and the Adara in the grave. It is good at this point to banish your Adara to get your Ashuna back to your hand for having a worm in hand, so that way you can either use it for a long yarn effect or a Moye effect, depending on what you want to do. But it's really good at this point if you have two Adaras to get your Ashuna back to your hand as quickly as possible before you continue with going into your Baxia, and then Baxia popping your monk to summon your Adara, and then synchroing into the Chaofeng once again. You guys can obviously slow down the video, but I think for those of you who know the deck, it kind of gives a good grasp as to how to do this combo. Now, obviously, instead of the Baxia, you can make a Chaofeng, a Qishao if you would want to, if you having to really struggle through combo. But yes, that is also a good option. Another really strong combo in this deck that a lot of people are not actually playing. I do believe you need quite a lot of startups, so it is strong to have a Moi. So what you can do is you go for your, let us say we start with an Adara and a Vessel. So this is kind of the combo that's really, really strong. So you can start off going for, but obviously the only thing about this combo, as strong as it is, it does not play around Nibiru. So you got to watch out for that. So you special summon your Adara, link one into your monk of the Tenyi. Oh wait, sorry, I apologize. Not the Adara. You can't really start with the Adara in this combo. You have to start with a Vishuddha, or you have to have some way to have Adara in hand. I apologize, guys. So you special summon your Vishuddha, link one into your monk, then you activate your vessel, sending your Adara to the grave. Your Ashuna to the grave, adding your Adara to the hand. Then you can special summon your Adara. Then you link your monk and your Adara into Crystron Halq Fibrax. Now this is where the play gets interesting. Using your Crystron Halq Fibrax, you can special summon another Adara from your deck or any other tuner, but usually in this case you would go for the Adara. Over here, let me just get another one from my deck wherever I can find wherever I can find it, if it's here at all. Come on, Adara, where are you? Okay, wait, is this it? Ah, there it is. Okay, this is the other Adara. Then from there, you can link this away, but let's assume you have another worm in hand. So you'll normal summon the Moi, revealing a worm, special summoning the token. At this point, you can banish your Ashuna to special summon a Vishuddha from your deck, which allows you to go for further extended combos. Then you can synchro your Moi and the token into a Qishao, allowing you to get a draw and a search, which you would obviously search for the blackout, and you get a draw in this case. At this point, I believe you do have a random worm in hand, you have your draw, and you have, I believe, two other cards in your hand. Then you can synchro these two into your, at this point, it honestly doesn't really matter. You can synchro these two into your Draco Berserker, which is also really strong. However, before you go into your Qishao, you can synchro into your Berserker first, allowing you to banish your Adara to add back your Ashuna. So if you're sitting with this board over here, as you saw, this is what we had with the token. you can synchro into your Berserker first, going for this play over here, allowing you to banish the Adara, adding back the Ashuna, and then synchroing into your Chi Shao afterwards. The reason why this play is so good in this scenario is during your opponent's turn, you can banish your Halq to summon a Formula Synchron, giving you an extra draw. Obviously, you'll have the blackout set, giving you a draw. You could draw into a hand trap or whatever it might be. And then after that, you can use your Synchron to synchro with one of the monsters you've already used, either the Chishao or the Berserker, making either of the level 10. So you can either make the Long Yuan, the Chengying, or the Baron de Fleur, depending on what you want to go into. A lot of the time, it could be Baron de Fleur. If they're going to evenly you get to do that. A nice little trick you can also do is if you have that on the field, you can go chain one, targeting your Draco Berserker with your Blackout and two other cards your opponent controls, and then you go chain two your Formula Synchron to synchro away the Berserker, so you do not neg that hard, and you go into your Baron de Fleur, allowing you to start up once again with so much on your field, which is really, really strong. I do believe it's a really strong combo to play. There's also a lot of talk about when do we get out Yazi. Now I know Yazi is a very it's a card that a lot of people are contemplating not playing, and I think it is really strong. I think it is very much worth playing, and I think people should definitely keep it on in their decks. For one of the reasons would be for playing around Token Collector. Now, the only hand that really plays around Token Collector is you need to have an Adara and you need to have a access to your Long Yuan, which is obviously over here, and then any other worm monster, which usually 9 times out of 10 you can get this hand quite easily. So number one, playing around Token Collector, you can go for the Tenyi combo. So you special Ashuna, link one into your monk, special Adara, and then you can banish your your Ashuna to special summon your other Vishuddha from your deck. And then if you know that they're going to have Token Collector, or if they have it engraved, you synchro summon this into your Berserker Tenyi, which is actually one of your outs to the Token Collector. So as soon as you discard it, or you normal summon a Moyi or something, so you can banish the Adara, adding the Ashuna, and then you discard that with the Long Yuan. As soon as they go Token Collector, you can chain the Berserker to banish the Token Collector, which is really, really strong. Now, for if you've already been Token Collected, I know a lot of people like to go Long Yuan first. So what you can do is you can end up going Effect of Ashuna, sorry, not Effect of Ashuna, don't listen to that. You go Effect of Adara to special summon itself, and then you go Effect of Long Yuan, discarding your Ashuna to summon Long Yuan and a token. At this point, they will Token Collector you, so your token will be destroyed, and then you synchro summon your Long Yuan and your Adara into your Yazi, which obviously at this point will force the burn from the Long Yuan. Then you use your Yazi to pop itself and the token, and you trigger your Yazi in the grave, allowing you to summon either a Taya, depending on the situation you want to go for, or if you have a worm in hand, you can go for the Moyi, and allowing you to get another token. So let's say we go for the Taya, banishing the Yazi, and special summoning a token, and then from this point, you may... Actually, the best would be banishing a Long Yuan, because then you can use your Adara to add the Long Yuan back to hand, which is really strong. Then from this point, you can banish Ashuna, summoning a worm from the deck, which is going to be your Vishuddha at this point, because you want to get your Vishuddha, at least one of your Vishuddhas out of the deck, and then you synchro summon your Taya and your Swordsoul token for the Chishao, which gets you your Blackout and sending another Ashuna from deck to grave, this allowing you to have further combo. And that's obviously with only like 3 worms in hand, so you still have maybe 2 cards in hand, which is really, really strong depending. Also, another option you can go into is if you have managed to make Yazi. Now, we all know the ways to make Yazi. We have the Long Yuan. If you wanted to, you can actually special summon. So this is another way you can get into the Yazi. where you have Adara and you have an Ecclesia in hand. You can special summon the Adara, and then you special summon the Ecclesia. Obviously, if your opponent has more cards, you tribute the Ecclesia, summoning the Long Yuan from deck. Yes, I know, it's weird. Not many people summon Long Yuan from deck. And then you synchro into your Yazi, which goes straight into the Yazi. And the reason why you play into Yazi is also, remember, if you're going into a mirror match, one of the things that really hurts the deck is imperm, and anything that has an imperm like effect, like effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a bit harder to play around, but infinite impermanence is really strong, and also a Chi Shao is really strong. Now remember, making this combo first forces your opponent to either use blackout on this, which makes it really difficult for them because they've had to go neg resources. Otherwise, you immediately synchro into the Yazi, and then they've either had to blackout before then, or they've missed it and they can't Chi Shao negate. So at this point, you can use the Yazi to pop itself and the Chi Shao, which prevents them from having a targeted negate for your Swordsoul monster that you're going to summon off the Yazi. But in this case, what you can actually do is you can actually summon your Ashuna from the deck instead of going for either a Moi or a Taya if you're trying to play around the what's it now? The token collector once again. So then you can link off the Ashuna into the monk. Remember, this is only off 2 cards, so you still have other cards in your hand. This allows you to go further into your plays, banishing your Ashuna, special summoning your Vishuddha from deck. So you can either go into either another Vishuddha or a Adara, depending on which one you want to go into. Most likely you'll go for your Vishuddha, and then you can banish your Adara, adding back this, and this allows you to go into further plays depending on what you have in your hand. It really depends on what your hand is. We can do some test hands if you would like. I will be doing a couple of test games in the future with the Swordsoul, so you guys can see what choices I make during games to try actually play around certain things. Now, let us go on to the main reason why we play Crystron Halq. Now, this is really odd and interesting. I'll show you the first situation, the first situation that came up with this, which is really, really strange, unique, and surprisingly really strong. So, one of the reasons why I opted to play Crystron Halq in the tournament is because it allows you to play through D barrier. Yes, I know it's weird, but you can play through D barrier. Now, how to play through D barrier is obviously you need the Tenyi combo once again, and let's say we have a emergence. That would be a strong way to play through the D barrier. So say, for example, you get D barriered over here, and this is your hand. Obviously, you'll be going second, and they don't have as much to play around. You manage to play around a couple of their things. Maybe you've hand trapped them, and this is what you have left for combo. So to play around D barrier, this is the D barrier combo. You special summon your Ashuna, linking your Ashuna into the monk. Then you special summon your Adara, and then you synchro your you link, because you can't synchro at this point, you link your 2 cards into the Halq, and then after that you use your Halq to special summon a tuner from the deck. You can summon any tuner you feel your heart desires, but let's just summon Adara at this point just to get another Adara in the grave. Then you will activate your emergence to add a long one from your deck to your hand, which is really, really weird, I know, but this is where you are going to tribute summon your long one in attack mode, and you end on your Halq plus your long one and anything else you have in your hand. This is the combo. During your opponent's turn, you will activate the Crystron Halq, summoning your Formula Synchron, getting you a draw. And then during their turn, once again, you activate Formula Synchron, synchroning your Long Yuan and the Formula Synchron into either a Baxia, giving you a shuffle on your opponent's turn, and you can chain block it with the Long Yuan burn, or you may summon your Chi Shao, giving you you can either choose to search on summon, however, you can choose to not use the effect, and you get a negate on your opponent's turn. or you can summon the Berserker of the Tenyi, giving you a banish depending on what you want to do. These are the options you can go into for your opponent's turn, but it is really strong to end up going into a Baxia during your opponent's turn and getting a free spot removal into the deck. So that is a nice option to play around the the D barrier, because you are now synchroing during your opponent's turn, which is really, really strong. I think one of the combos that ended up coming up was I ended up making I think I ended up on this with the monk, I believe, and then I ended up normal summoning a Moyi, which got impermed, and the resolution of that, I linked my Adara and my monk into a Halq special summoning a tuner from the deck. At this point, you can special summon an Ash, which is weird, I know. Sometimes Ash is one of the best normal summons. Then from here, you can synchro summon your Ash and your Moyi into a Yazi, getting you a free draw off the Moyi, and your Yazi can pop a card and you summon your Tire from deck, going off and comboing. I think people know what to do from there. A lot of you players kind of know the combos from there. Getting into the Tire making the Baxia, or making the Chi, whichever position you're going and whatever you are trying to out. Also, there's a couple of other situational plays that you can go into. So a lot of the main combos, obviously, everyone knows the combo of going into the Baron and Chisha, but there's also the combo of being able to make Long Yuan plus Chisha, which is really important. So it takes that plus any other worm in hand. Let's just go for that. So you normal summon the Moyi, revealing the Vishuddha, summoning the token, and then you use the Long Yuan, discarding the Vishuddha, summoning itself and another token. Then you will synchro into your Long Yuan over here. This is obviously not playing around Nib, depending on how brave you feel. And you use the Long Yuan to burn, and then you synchro summon your Moyi plus your token into Chisha, making Chisha chain 1, Long Yuan chain 2, and Moyi chain 3, giving you 2 draws and a search, which is really, really strong. So that's something else you can do. The nice thing, I think the thing that people struggle with this deck the most is how to make the best situation out of having bad hands. That's what makes a player good at the deck, is obviously everyone can do the most insane plays with the best hand possible, but what can you do when you open the worst hand possible, and where can you go from there? So a lot of the time, when you get impermed for example, your Moyi, which can be really detrimental, you can choose to. That's why we also play the Stana, because the circle is a really strong counter to the biggest hand traps that kill you. For example, the imperms and the veilers. So you can normal summon the Moyi, revealing a worm, and then you chain your. If you get impermed, you chain your heavenly circle, tributing the Moyi to search for an Ashuna, and then you banish the Ashuna, summoning a Shtana from deck, and you synchro summon into whatever you feel like from there. Also, another cool thing about Circle is that it plays around Mystic Mine, so during the end phase, you can link everything into your Shaman, and then activate Circle, tributing it, allowing the mine to destroy itself. Circle also allows you to play around Skill Drain. So say, for example, you went for the Ashuna special summon, and then you did obviously the the Tenyi combo, where you link the Ashuna away into the monk, and you special summon the Adara, banishing Ashuna, summoning the Vishuddha from your deck. This is where you go into your Baxia, targeting cards on the field to shuffle them into the deck. If they go for a Skill Drain, or Skill Drain is already face up, you can still summon the Baxia, affect targeting cards on the field, then you chain your Heavenly Dragon Circle, tributing the Baxia to search, allowing you to get rid of the cards on the field, which is really, really strong, allowing you to play around Skill Drain when you're going against the Eldritch matchup. A really strong card that goes into the Eldritch matchup is Long Yuan, because it does banish the traps and it banishes the Golden Lord. So if you are playing against that deck, I do recommend trying to make Long Yuan as quickly as possible, and it will show you flames for when you play it. You'll see why. But yeah, those are some other options that you can go in with playing this deck. I hope some of these tutorials have really helped. I hope some of the ideas that I give you have really helped. If there's anything more you would like to know, for example, ways of playing around a Tikaboo. If you have the Ashuna and the Ash, you special summon Ashuna, normal summon the Ash, and then you get to synchro summon into your Baron, allowing you to pop the Tikaboo. These are just different ways to be able to play into um, these different floodgates and traps like that stop you. A lot of the times, like with the side deck, getting Lancia really helps. You can summon back the Lancia off Baron de Fleur, which allows you to be able to not, which allows you to be able to lock them out once again. Also, really strong plays as well is having a driver in hand plus an Ashuna is actually combo, funny enough, which doesn't make the driver too much of a brick in this deck. You will special summon the Ashuna, and then you can tribute summon the driver, which allows, by the way, Vessel to be live, so don't forget about that. Then you banish the Ashuna from your grave to special summon a Adara from your deck, giving you the option to go into a Yazi, which, as we know, Yazi is pretty much a combo starter on its own for this deck. So you use the Yazi to pop itself on another card, summon your Taya, and then Taya banishing Yazi, summoning a token, and then you banish your Adara, getting the Ashuna back, and you synchro into your Baxia, and Baxia chain 1, Taya chain 2, sending the Moi. Let's actually do the combo. So we're going to summon the Taya, so you guys can get an idea of how the combo works, because I don't know how new of a Swordsoul player you guys are, for all of you who are watching the video. So let's go from the Yazi into the Taya, summoning the token, and then from here, synchro summoning into your Baxia. This is obviously you're going second play. Baxia shuffling 2 cards and chain link to the Taya, sending your Moi from the deck to grave. Then from here on out, you target the Baxia or any other card that you can set. Sometimes even if you open an Evenly and it's dead in your hand, you can set the Evenly and Yazi targeting the Evenly and summoning the Moi. Moi revealing the Ashuna, summoning the token, and then you go off combo, of course, as you do. Synchro summoning from here into the Chi Shao, chain 1, chain 2, searching the long yuan, and you can go into your OTKs, depending on what you want to do, because remember, Baxia is really, really strong for that. A lot of the times what people don't realize is you can chain things to Baxia. So for example, if you have a Called by the Grave that was previously set, which is really strong, you can go chain 1 Baxia targeting Called by the Grave, chain 2 Called by the Grave to banish a card. It will still resolve as normal, trying to not have you lose as many resources as possible. So that is another option you go into. As you can see, Yazi is really prominent in a lot of this deck's combos, and the ability to play through a lot of things, especially things like Token Collector and things like Imperm and the Chi Shao and any other targeting effect that would affect your main players. The amount of times I went into Yazi was insane on the tournament at States. And also, I did not go into Baron as much on the first turn unless I knew what I was dealing with. So yes, that's kind of the idea of what you can play into. It's really, really strong. It's really, really good. Some of the time going second, you can use your Ecclesia as your tuner, depending on what you want to do, if your Moi gets impermed or anything. So these are really strong plays that you can work out doing with the deck. I hope this gave you some really, really cool ideas. I hope this helped you play around. If there are any other questions, please, guys, feel free to message me on my Facebook page or email me in the email in the description down below, and I can help you with any questions that you may have about playing this deck, about any combos, about any specific situations that may come up. Please don't be scared to ask. If you have questions about deck choices, they are here for you to answer, for you to know. So just send me a message, whatever you feel. just remember that Adara is really important in this deck, that's for sure. But yes, message me, email me, however you feel, and I will help you out as best as possible. There will also be an article coming out about me on my trip to States, so you guys can read about that coming up really soon, and you guys can see my deck lists up on Beard Yu-Gi-Oh's channels, also on Flex Gaming Essay, and there are a couple other channels that might talk about my deck list. So hopefully we can spread this out, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll also have my deck list on the video over here. Here it is right here. You guys can check that out, have a quick look at it if you guys did not catch it at the beginning. And yeah, thank you guys so much for liking and following this video and watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm really excited for this deck, honestly. As you can see with the mat, this deck has really been my heartfelt. So I really love it, and I really have a passion for it, and it was one of the decks that did really well for me, and I hope all you Swordsoul players out there enjoy it too. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. From me, Frisby Moonsong, I'm out. Cheers guys. Yow!